Hi, thank you for tuning in. This is Takang, and today we are going to go down memory lane. COVID-19 vaccine and lockdowns. Now, when COVID first hit, I had just taken a position at Macy's, and 2 weeks after, the country went into a lockdown. And like many others, we started working from home. But because my position supports stores and stores were closed, we were forced to stop working and find alternative work. Now, it wasn't just my workplace that shut down. The whole world came to a standstill and small businesses shuttered. Streets were empty, but stores like Walmart and Target remained open. And so this pushed panic buying. People went empty the store from water, toilet tissue, health supplies. I couldn't even get vitamin D or vitamin C. Even cleaning supplies were at a shortage. I couldn't buy anything. The shelves were empty. People were afraid to shake hands, to hug, and there was that 6 feet apart rule. That was the order of the day. And you had screens that were showing footage of people collapsing on the streets in China, and just intensified the fear. People were so scared. I went into the store, and I was kind of stubborn during that time because I already knew what was coming. And so I went into the store without a mask, and they will force you, the managers will chase you down to wear a mask. And many of the times I'll take the mask, put it on, put it below my nose, and I sometimes just completely take it off, and they'll come right back at me. Hey, ma'am, you have to wear a mask. Seriously, it was the craziest. I cannot believe that these people, globalists, whatever they call themselves, or pharmaceutical, or big pharma, actually shut down the entire world, and we sat down and watched. Now, about a month after the lockdown, my daughter and I got sick. We fell ill, and we went to the clinic because once you're sick, you're told to go to the clinic and get tested so you don't infect others. Okay, so we went into a clinic and got tested, and we tested positive for COVID. And we're told to go home and isolate with no medication, nothing. They just sent us home. And on our way home, we were laughing in the car, not out of disrespect, but just the fact that you're sick and they sent you home to isolate with no medication for a virus that's supposed to be really dangerous. And then you turn on the TV and you see all these data, all these graphs of people dying. And you're asking yourself, who are these people dying? Who are these people dying from COVID virus? And then you had doctors that were saying, "Oh, I done some quick research on it." Some of them that had even done research on Dr. Fauci's work, like Dr. Stella Emmanuel and Dr. Ardis and late Dr. Butarme, so rest in peace, who were talking about the possibility or early treatment with ivermectin and hydroxychloroquine. And my sister, who is a pharmacist, said, "You better go to that lady and get you some hydroxychloroquine because our doctor refused to prescribe hydroxychloroquine because on TV, mainstream media discouraged it. They said, oh, it's going to make you have a heart attack. It's a very dangerous medication. This medication that we buy over the counter in Africa, okay, is suddenly dangerous. It was the craziest time. I hope we never go to that time. I hope we never. If we have these people, the audacity of these people shutting down an entire universe, how did we let that happen? So any doctor that mentioned, that's why you had no vitamins like vitamin D and C, because some doctors were saying it could help suppress the virus, and you had these doctors that were suggesting that we take hydroxychloroquine and ivermectin. And then you had a popular podcasters like Joe Rogan who mentioned that they got sick and they took ivermectin, and they were cured. And you had people, mainstream media, saying he's taking a horse dewormer, the medication is for horses, and he was demonized by mainstream media, and they were mocking him. And you had all these what do you call them, these comedians making fun of him in their comedy, and you had doctors. I mean, it was crazy because you had, they said these virus was dangerous, hospitals were overwhelmed, and then you had nurses and doctors doing dance videos across the universe, choreographed dance videos. How stupid were we? And then, of course, politics set in. Those politics put ahead of healthcare. Mm? You had one party that was for mandates, so you must take the vaccine. And you had Joe Biden who was saying, my patience is running thin. And then you had another party that was questioning the concerns, like this vaccine has not been tested, you know, so they've not had enough time to test it in humans. You can't just mandate jabbing people with this vaccine that has not been tested, which of course were valid questions, valid concerns. And you had mainstream media demonizing these people. You had, there was so much division. You had families torn apart. Friends were not talking to each other because one believed one thing and the other believed another thing. I had friends that were doctors, nurses, pharmacists that I was talking to, just to get their take on the whole situation, and they all had the same script. It's safe and effective. COVID is killing people. People are dying in hospitals. Yet doctors and nurses were doing choreographed dance videos and posting them on YouTube and on TikTok. You know, so they told us all this, and I'm like, you just take your stupid script back to your chief, whatever, in your clinic, because they were speaking the same language, the exact same language. And that's when I knew I was wasting my time with these people. You know, I even had some people, some friends of mine, I told them that remdesivir, according to research, remdesivir was killing a lot of those patients, shutting down their kidneys. I'm no doctor, but I do my research. I have family to protect. I have to know what's going on. So I did a lot of research, and apart from what I already knew was coming, and there were people online who lost parents in nursing homes that were put on remdesivir. But guess what? They took them off of Twitter, off of the internet completely. What does that tell you? What are they trying to hide? What were they trying to hide at the time? And then you had the governor of New York, Governor Andrew Cuomo, who put people from nursing homes in clinics, and so many people lost their elderly ones. They never got a chance to say goodbye. And we are supposed to just sit here and not hold people accountable and forget that it happened. And then, of course, you had CNN with their fancy, well suited doctors like Dr. Gottlieb and Dr. Sanjay Gupta. They're coming on TV, encouraging people, pushing this vaccine like there was no tomorrow. And then only for you to find out some of them are sitting on the board of these pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer. And of course, you had Dr. Brian Ardis, who questioned the use of remdesivir based on his own research. He found out that a lot of the elderly in nursing homes were dying from their kidney shutting down from the treatment with remdesivir. And of course, like we know, he was ridiculed and censored on mainstream media. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a political issue. This is not a left versus right issue. It's about accountability and protecting our rights to ask questions. The world seems eager to move on from the COVID era. But for many of us, the trauma, confusion, and loss haven't been addressed yet. I know people who died. I have friends who have daughters that haven't seen their period in 4 years. Okay? I have friends that have blood clots after the vaccine rollout. Some friends, some people I know personally, they can't have children. Now, if you can have your period, what does that mean? Hmm? There's so many birth defects, so many. That's why they told us that they won't, we will not be able to see the ingredients or the inserts of the COVID-19 vaccines until 2076. Now, who's going to be here to hold them accountable? This isn't a conspiracy. They always use was like, oh, it's a conspiracy theory. This word that was created to distract people from truth. It's all about vigilance and staying informed. Okay? If we don't have hold institutions accountable and allow space for open dialogue, how can we trust the next crisis won't be handled the same way or worse? The world seems eager to move on from the COVID era. But for some people, the trauma, the confusion, and loss haven't been addressed yet. And the systems that allowed it to happen are still in place. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for you today. And I hope you did find value in my videos. If you like the content, please subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. And I would advise you to keep listening, keep reading, and most importantly, keep an open mind. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.